Hey, what's up guys? Have you ever walked into a completely new environment and had your head filled with a bunch of ideas that you could film? Over time, that feeling might fade once you get used to that space, especially if that space is your home. With the current limitations we filmmakers have on where we can shoot, how can you take advantage of the space where you've been, hopefully, spending most of your time? Over the next 3 videos, we're hoping to reignite that creative spark and open up your mind to some new ideas that can make your living space cinematic. In this video, we're gonna be focusing on just using your camera and take shots that would otherwise be boring and make them more interesting. Using a wide lens with a large field of view can make spaces look larger. My space isn't very large, but I'm able to make it look bigger by filling more into the frame with something like this 14mm I have on right now. Likewise, I can make a space look smaller by zooming into something like 105mm. Also, the longer your focal length is, the blurrier your background will be. Okay, so what's the point of all this and how can it make your living space more cinematic? Well, check this out. Every lens has a look and every lens has a use. It's important to know when to use which lens to convey the feeling you're trying to get out of your film. Let's use this shot of me sitting at my desk. On this 14mm lens, it seems, well, a little boring. This isn't the environment where I personally would use a wide lens. Now, if we switch to something tighter like an 85mm, we can start to develop a better connection with this character, like we're peering into his life. But hold on, just because the wide shot didn't look good as it was, we can still use it. You see that? Just by adding a character into the foreground, we gave the shot more depth and made it look more cinematic. Natural frames are shots like looking at a tent through some tree branches or a hole in the middle of a bunch of palm trees. They are untouched areas that draw your eye to something. And you already have plenty of those around your place. Door frames. You can use door frames to help draw the eye towards a subject, whether it's in the center of the frame or off to the side. That framing helps guide eyes to where you want them to look. Other natural frames you might have around your place are your TV screen or your computer screen. You can also play around with mirrors. Try using the mirror in your bathroom, or if you have a car, try using the side view mirrors or the rear view mirrors. You can also use your own frames. Any kind of border that draws the eye where you want it to is a frame. So you can get fancy with it. Use houseplants, use decorative pieces, anything you can to help point the eyes where you want them to. Conceal and reveal is a really cool way to keep a character mysterious throughout a scene or slowly introduce them into your story. You can achieve this effect by using objects, camera angles, and lighting. Since this video is about camera angles, we're gonna focus on that. The simplest way to achieve this effect is to have your character's eyes just off screen or have them turned away from the camera. Another simple way to conceal someone in your space could be having them type on a laptop at a low angle. Then, once it's time to reveal them, you can have them shut the laptop and introduce them into your story. Another cool way to achieve this effect is by using objects like a door or a cupboard. In fact, I actually used this technique while filming a short film a couple of years ago in this very apartment, where the camera pans up to introduce a mysterious character before finally showing his face when he closes the cupboard. Everyone's doing it now. Keep your camera close, loosen your knees, and shift your weight from one side to another. Boom, slider shot. If you're looking to get a more cinematic feel to your space, this is a simple way to do it. Adding movement to your shots adds a ton of dimension and can really help make your shots look way more interesting, whether it's slowly moving from one side to another or slowly crawling through the space. Bringing foreground elements into the shot really helps push the effect. If you don't have any depth in your shot, it's gonna be a little difficult to see the movement. There are tons of ways you can use this technique, so play around with them and see what you come up with. You remember that scene from Stranger Than Fiction when Will Ferrell is brushing his teeth and you see from inside his mouth? You know, this one. As gross as it is, how cool of a shot can you get? We've seen that general POV shot of opening the fridge, opening the drawer, opening whatever. So what if we step it up a notch? One way you can make your shots much more interesting is by putting your camera underwater. Take this shot for example. We have me walking into frame and looking down in disgust at whatever is in the water. And this effect was very easy to achieve. I filled a bowl with some water and placed my GoPro inside. I took whatever oil I had lying around, in this case it was canola oil, poured it into the bowl and swirled it around to get some movement. And boom, suddenly we're underwater. By the way, that shot was inspired by one of Isaac's latest photography projects. If you haven't seen it, link is below, check it out. If you don't have a GoPro, you can make your phone waterproof by putting it in a Ziploc bag, rolling the top and taping it shut for some extra protection. A good way to test this out is if you put a small piece of paper towel inside the bag, close it, and then put it underwater for about 10 seconds. Take the bag out of the water, open it up, and inspect the towel. If it's dry, then it's safe to use with your phone. Hopefully these tips and tricks will help inspire you on how you can use different camera techniques to turn your living space into a cinematic warehouse. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how we can use lighting to convey different feelings and looks in your living space. Be sure to leave a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts were on any of the techniques that we pointed out in this video. If you guys like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content about filmmaking and photography. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.